So in this video, we're going to talk about specifically how to get your prospect in a state where he or she is ready to buy before you pitch. So how to do discovery in such a way where they're ready for your solution and they've associated with you a person who's trustworthy, who they want to do business with, because that's also very important. You don't want to just stimulate a bunch of negative emotions so you can get somebody to feel their pain if they don't feel that you're the right person to actually help them get through that pain. Because that's where the key is, the nuances, as far as a lot of salespeople doing the techniques right, but because they haven't really built that trust, the prospect at the end of the meeting doesn't feel, there's something off about the vibe, the energy, and they feel like maybe you're not the right person. So you have to do this in a very, not in a delicate way, but in an intelligent way, where you're asking questions and you're not intentionally trying to poke the bear, or you're not coming across that way. But at the same time, you're still asking difficult questions so they can reveal their pain. The key here is you never want to give them any solutions, any consulting as they're telling you all of their problems and their situation, because that gives them relief. It gives them relief from where they are. And that shortens the gap from where they are currently with all of their problems and pains to where they want to be, which is the outcome itself, getting the solution, getting the result. So we want to basically stretch the gap. So we want to widen that gap. And by us consulting and giving them advice when they're talking about whatever they're going through in discovery, is making them feel a sense of relief. We want them to feel some kind of attention. We want them to feel very ready and primed to hear about the actual pitch, the actual process, because what you're doing is you're being very unstructured. We're very unstructured if we're treating the conversation as if we're speaking to a friend who's going through something, where it would be appropriate maybe to take that approach. So this is very natural as human beings. We do like to help people. We have friends and we help them and they help us. But we have to remember that this is a sales meeting. And in a sales meeting, there's a process, there is a framework. And so if we're looking to really give them everything they need in a way where they just feel that relief as a consequence of us telling them the how in a condensed fashion, it gives them all of that relief. And so we're very smoothly transitioning them from a state of pain, a state of tension, a state of uncertainty, to a state of, as we're building trust to make sure we're not asking questions in a very abrasive or brash way. As we're asking these questions and it's building, then we give them that relief with our pitch, which shouldn't be too long, which we get into in different videos. We give them that relief and we show them how everything that we're doing, if it is true, is a perfect fit for whatever challenges they have and whatever goals they've outlined to us. And so essentially what we're doing is we have our framework for the pitch. We have our framework for discovery. Once we're getting all of the specifics from our discovery, we're plugging those specifics, those problems as solutions. So it's basically the mirror image of their problems in our pitch. So in other words, if I tell you that I have a specific problem about something, I will tell you that you should tell me in the pitch how what I just told you is exactly what we do for our clients and fits in this specific step. Now, of course, you wouldn't specify it that way, but that's how you're making me feel as a prospect, that every little thing that I told you is exactly what we do for all of our clients. This is nothing new. I haven't not seen this before. This happens all of the time. And in fact, it's part of our system. It's part of our roadmap. And you're walking me through that. So now I'm thinking every single little problem that I told this guy, he has a solution for. And I'm just thinking relief. And I'm just thinking, okay, well, he's not consulting me. So he's telling me that what will happen. He's explaining to me the how, the outcome, the result, not necessarily diving down into the features. You could talk about features a little bit, but you're not telling them how to solve their problem on the call. This is the key. You're telling them what will happen and what is the consequence. And the how is the roadmap. The how is not you solving the specific problem for them on the call. So you're giving them a how in terms of the roadmap, what it is and the result that they're getting. Now at this point, they're feeling that I just told them a bunch of problems. this system has a solution for all of my problems. I trust this person. To some degree, I like this person. You don't always have to like somebody to buy from them, but you definitely have to respect them as the authority and feel some kind of an affinity, right? Because that truly is what rapport is. Rapport is you feel like you like somebody, you are like them, or you admire them in some way. So you want to be like them in some way. That is rapport. So a lot of people think that rapport is just like at the beginning, rapport and then frame. It's like, well, no, rapport is a thread that runs throughout the entire conversation. So you're making sure that you're a friend to them, a mentor to them, right? An advisor, a trusted advisor to them. That's the frame that you want to take throughout the call. But when I say trusted advisor, again, you're not advising them, but you're coming across as like a warm doctor, a doctor with fantastic bedside manner, right? Who's just kind of like taking inventory of everything that they're going through. And they're like, actually, you know what? This is what we can do. And you're like, doc, let's do it because I can't take this anymore. You don't want to do too much coaching, too much advising, too much problem solving with their specific problems, because every time you solve something before you get to the section where that's supposed to occur, so you're not following your framework, is that you're giving them relief. So basically what's happening is they want to be here and they're like, let's say right here, for example. Now they believe they're right here, but really they're further away. So what's happening is we're asking them questions that's getting them to remember their situation and how basically far away they are from where they want to be. Now, this is not the case for all prospects. Some prospects are like so much down here in doubt that you have to give them more confidence. But that's something that we just like, they can't get any further down. They're just like kind of fed up with the problem and they don't believe that they can do it. So you're just kind of like reminding them where they are. With these people who are typically right pocket, who might feel just that it's not really that big of a problem or they're downplaying it, you're reminding them through your questions why it is such a problem, right? And why they do need a solution. So what's happening is you're doing this, right, with your questions. So you're bridging, we're widening the gap. The problem is that when you start giving solutions as a person is telling you all of their problems, so if you start like doing mini coaching or giving them advice, you're making them feel relief. So what's happening is this, right? There's this step here, and then they're here, then here, then here. You're giving them relief every time. So you're not allowing that gap to widen. You're giving them a sense that things are actually okay. They're not as bad as they thought, and maybe they could solve it on their own. And also you're giving them advice that they can just use afterwards. So why would they buy your thing if you just gave them a bunch of information that they can use after the meeting and go off and do it on their own? I'll end it there. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, let me know, and I'll see you soon.